Ever heard someone say their house is their biggest asset? But what if I told you that your house could, in fact, be a liability? Yes, you heard that right. Today, I want to discuss a topic that is often misunderstood. Is your house an asset or a liability? And when is the right time to purchase a house? And stick around until the end of the video, as we'll explore some smart options for buying a house, even when dealing with a mortgage. Now let's dive right in by understanding why your house could potentially be a liability, creating ongoing expenses. First off, let's understand what we mean by assets and liabilities. Assets are valuable resources that you own and can provide future economic benefits. Simply put, these are things that either generate income or increase in value over time, such as rental properties, stocks, bonds, or your retirement savings account. Liabilities, on the other hand, are the opposite. They are your financial obligations or debts that result in a future outflow of resources. In simple terms, they are obligations that take money out of your pocket. These are commitments that must be paid off, such as a mortgage on your house, student loans for your education, or even credit card debt. Keep in mind, true assets generate positive cash flow or increase in value over time. Most classic assets like a car or a house are not true assets. Most of them take money out of your pocket in the form of fuel, maintenance, insurance, and taxes, and depreciate over time instead of appreciating the value. Now back to our discussion. For some, a house is primarily an investment, which they judge in terms of profitability. We'll dive deeper into this topic in an upcoming video. However, for many people, buying a house can be a life-changing decision. When you buy a house, you may take on a mortgage or loan that you'll have to pay off over a number of years. Additionally, there are property taxes, home insurance, regular maintenance costs, potential depreciation, and unforeseen damages to consider. All of these expenses increase over time and add up to a big expense, potentially turning your home into a liability. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, but my house has increased in value over the years. While it's true that some houses may increase in value and can be treated as an asset, but this is not guaranteed and varies depending on factors like location and the housing market. Plus, even if your house has increased in value, you cannot get that money without selling your house and paying additional expenses, such as real estate agent commissions, closing costs, and possible tax implications. Of course, I'm not suggesting you shouldn't buy a house. While a house may not be an asset, for most of us, it's still a necessary expense. Homeownership provides non-financial benefits, such as stability, security, the feeling of personal achievement, and emotional satisfaction. The key here is timing and careful planning. So, when is the right time to purchase a house? The answer to that question depends on your individual circumstances. Here are a few points to consider. First, make sure you have a stable source of income. Buying a house is a long-term commitment, and you'll need to make sure you can afford the monthly mortgage payments or loan EMI payments, property taxes, and maintenance costs. Second, consider your long-term plans. Are you planning to stay in the same location for the next 5 to 10 years? If so, buying a house may make sense. Third, make sure you have a solid emergency fund in place. Life is full of surprises and comes with unexpected expenses, so it's important to have a financial cushion to cover those costs. Remember, you can't rely on selling your house to meet these expenses. Lastly, don't rush into buying a house, just because you feel like it's the next step in your life or due to social pressure. For many young adults, buying a house seems like the logical first step after securing a job. But that may not always be the best decision, especially if you plan to buy by taking a loan. Here's why. When you take out a mortgage, you're taking on a significant amount of debt. This means you'll have a monthly payment that you'll have to make for a long time, usually 20 to 30 years. For instance, if you're 25 years old when you take out the loan, you'll have to make this payment until you're 50 years old. This payment can have a significant impact on your monthly budget and overall financial stability. It can make it hard to save money, pay off other debts, invest for your future, or cover unexpected expenses. Additionally, taking a loan too early in your career can limit your flexibility. You may need to move for a job or change careers. Selling a home can take time and may not always be possible depending on market conditions. If you have the freedom to wait for 2 to 5 years after getting a job to buy a house, it's a good idea to do so. By waiting, you can build up your financial stability and go for a mortgage when you're better prepared. You may even be able to buy a home without a loan or with a smaller loan by paying a larger down payment. Keep in mind that during the first 4 to 5 years of your mortgage, most of your monthly payment goes towards interest rather than the principal loan amount. By waiting and saving up this money for a bigger down payment, you can reduce the amount of interest you need to pay. In the early stages of your career, it's not a bad idea to stay in a rented house. It might not offer the same emotional satisfaction as homeownership, but this can be a smart move for a secure financial future. When deciding whether to buy or rent, do a cost-benefit analysis. Consider the total cost of homeownership, including mortgage payments, taxes, insurance, and maintenance, versus the cost of renting and investing the difference. Finally, interest rates and market conditions should also be taken into consideration when deciding to buy a house. Of course, this advice may not apply to everyone. If you have a stable income, a strong emergency fund, buying a home may be a good decision for you. Now, when is buying a house a smart move, even with a mortgage? Here are some scenarios. 1. Rental income. Buying a house in an area with high rental demand and renting it out to cover the mortgage and other expenses is a common strategy to turn a potential liability into an income-generating asset. 2. Areas with rapid appreciation. In areas where property values are rising rapidly, buying a home can be a good investment even with a mortgage. 3. Low interest rates. Securing a low interest rate on a mortgage reduces the total cost of the loan, making homeownership more profitable in the long run. 4. Home businesses. If you plan to use the house for a home business, such as a home office or Airbnb rental, the income generated can offset costs and turn the property into an asset. 5. Tax benefits. In some jurisdictions, homeowners can deduct mortgage interest and property taxes from their taxable income, providing tax savings that enhance the financial benefits of homeownership. 6. Building equity. As you pay down your mortgage, you build equity in your home. This can be a form of forced savings, and that equity can be leveraged in the future for other investments or expenses, as it may allow homeowners to borrow against it. This can be a useful source of funds if you need to borrow in the future. 7. Future development plans. If there are plans for future infrastructure development in the area, such as new transport links, schools, or shopping centers, these can significantly increase your property's value over time. 8. Fixer-upper properties. Buying a house that requires renovations can be profitable, provided the cost of repair and renovation is less than the expected increase in the property's value. To summarize, owning a house can be both an asset and a liability. The appreciation over time and potential to generate rental income may qualify it as an asset. Simultaneously, regular expenditures and mortgage payments can deem it a liability. It is a significant financial commitment that should be carefully considered. So focus on building a strong financial foundation first. Understand the realities of homeownership, and then make the decision that best fits your life and financial goals. Please note, this advice is general in nature and may not apply to every geographic location or financial situation. Always consult with a financial advisor before making any significant decisions based on the information provided. Share your thoughts and experiences about buying a house in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. For more financial advice videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.